So Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, when he wrote his album Downward Spiral, he said that they averaged 18-hour days for a year to write that album. And now I'm not necessarily suggesting getting sub 6 hours of sleep and going on chemical binges the whole time to write your album, but at the same time, maybe like you're not putting shit work into anything. So like I guess one of the archetypes of a father that I really appreciate, that I'm trying to adopt, and I'm trying to adopt people around me that have this aspect, is telling you harsh realities. Because a lot of us are just have these ideas where this is not fair. It ought not be this way. It's not fair. It shouldn't be this way. You know, like I want to be able to eat what I want and still have a great body and still be healthy. Well, I think in some degree it's the job of the father archetype to tell you, hey, you can do whatever you want, but if you do this thing, this will happen. And if you do this thing, this will happen. Or probably will happen. There's no guarantees. And I'm here to tell you, if you're not putting in enough work, you're not putting in hours every single day, you're putting in excuses, that doesn't do anything. I've met enough people where they have these ideas that in their head, they think it's a great ass idea. They're like, they're going to change the world, they're going to change music, we're going to transcend genres. And that's not... And if it's just in your head, it's not going to do anything. And a lot of ideas in your head make so much more sense than they actually do in real life. And if you never put into practice putting those things out and actually testing and developing yourself, your ideas will stay in your head. And they're going to stay crappy too. It's like an addict. An addict is able to... How the whole concept of addiction recovery works is that you're supposed to get these ideas that make total sense inside your own brain when you're talking to yourself or thinking to yourself, and then get them out in the real world. Once you start speaking them, you're like, man, this is not what I thought it was. It made total sense when I was echoing around in here, but as soon as I started articulating, I have to actually fully form this and plug everything together, well, it still makes as much sense. And until you can adopt the habit of actually taking these ideas you have, these brilliant ideas you have, they're going to change music, and start putting them into anything, and that takes hours and hours and hours and hours of consistent work, it's not going to happen. You are never going to have any level of success in music. And I mean in art, and I don't even have to mean monetary, I don't have to be fans or anything. You're not going to create anything that's really going to be close to your potential unless you can put in hours and hours and hours and get in the habit of learning how to take these virtual ideas in your head, these fantasies, these dreams you have of creating X thing, and then putting it into a medium. That's the only way it's going to happen. There's no shortcuts. If you can't put in hours every day, it's not going to happen. So you got 3 options. 1, you can live in a fantasy and then be regretful of it later in your life. Maybe you're already there. You can put into practice, you can put in the hours, you can put in the time, or you can quit. And if you don't pick any of those, you pick the first one. So you're going to pick one of these 3. That's the only options you have are those 3. So what are you picking today?